Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final countdown. Ba-da-ba-ba-bow, ba-da-bow-bow, ba-da-ba-ba-bow. That's enough. Unfortunately, as you can see, we still don't have a logo for this show. We're working on it. I'll make sure we have one for next time. If I have to make it myself, I will. But this is the final countdown, the show where we come and we count down the top 5 or top 10, or whatever topic we happen to feel like counting down that particular month. This month, we are going to count down for you the top 5 of breakfast cereal mascots. This should be rather interesting. It's expected that Marcus and I will probably have some similarities on our lists, both being here in America, whereas, of course, Chriz the Mole, who was also here with us.
I am. What's up?
What's up? Yes, Marcus is over there, too. Marcus is having some slight microphone issues, so I'm just give me a minute to recover on that.
Am I still? Really?
No, the moment.
Yeah, very, very minor. You're better now. But yes, Chriz the Mole, of course, being from across the pond in England, has quite a different variety of breakfast cereals over there with different mascots. So those of you that are here in America, you might be seeing some mascots and cereals that you have not heard of before. Should be a lot of fun.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. If you're listening outside the U.S., you might not have some of these too, because outside the U.S. you probably have proper health codes to prevent this kind of shit from being served. But anyway, yes. So I guess I'll go first. Again, we're counting down from 5 to 1, as we always do, because it's the final countdown, not the final count up.
Good point, good point.
I thought so. So I'll go ahead and kick us off here. Let me get my mini-cam picture here. Number 5 on my list is Lucky the Leprechaun for Lucky Charms. They always have to be Lucky Charms.
I missed that cereal.
Yeah, that's one of those cereals that after outside the U.S. you might not be able to get a hold of it because that crap got banned because it had some dangerous stuff in it there, Mo? Was that the deal?
It had something that they didn't like, some sort of chemical or something, and it got banned. Around the same time they cut down on a certain chemical, I can't remember what it was, but it's why we also lost Spider-Man ice cream lollipops, which was a shame.
They sound delicious. I didn't know that was a thing.
It was like an ice cream, obviously like an ice lol. It was like an ice lollipop, but
ice cream bar, yeah.
Okay, I thought ice cream bars didn't have a stick in them, but yeah, basically in the shape of Spider-Man. It was awesome.
Okay, over here we call it an ice cream bar if it's on a stick. If it's not, it's an ice cream sandwich or other type of ice cream treat.
Ah, fair enough. And a Spider-Man ice cream bar.
Yeah, I like the Snoopy ones myself. They're vanilla and chocolate.
Insert where are my ice cream bars.
Exactly. Ice cream bars were also
I was muted. Sorry, I was muted. But yes, as you can see, my number 5 is also Lucky the Leprechaun.
Fair enough.
Because they're magically delicious.
Indeed they are.
They are magically delicious.
They are magically delicious, yeah. The kids have been chasing after Lucky's Lucky Charms since about 1964 when the cereal first appeared in stores. And since then they've added all kinds of different marshmallows, each one always triggering the kids to continue chasing Lucky for his Lucky Charms.
Yep.
Of course, widely criticized as being one of the most unhealthy cereals you can find, given that it's half straight up marshmallows. It's still delicious.
Yep. I should note that most of the ones on my list I haven't actually eaten cereals of. This is one of them.
Chriz the Mole, does that not defeat the purpose of the list?
No, because you said best mascots. You didn't say mascots of cereals you've eaten.
I was going to say that would defeat the purpose of the list if it was something we had to experience, but he could have seen the commercials, he could have seen the box
that's true.
Whenever he's picking up his Tampax.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm not Simon.
Yeah, Marcus, you are still having some slight squealing of your headset there. It's not interfering with your ability to be heard, but it is there. Just FYI.
Mm-hmm.
Live, people.
All right, let me try restarting Google Hangouts. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll throw to Mole for the next one while we're waiting for his number 5 rather.
It's cool. We can talk about Lucky a bit more if you wanted to, since it'll give him a second or two to get back.
But yeah, the cereal It's pretty much, and then the character of Lucky has gone on a lot of different adventures, and he's always been a lot of fun, and he's always been really, really recognizable because of Lucky Charms having been around so long, and because the character hasn't changed that much, unlike a lot of other serial mascots who have evolved or changed over the years. He's always pretty much been the same. He's got the hat, he's got the green suit, and he runs away from kids who are trying to eat his Lucky Charms. And they got that little charm. Frosted Lucky Charms, they're magically delicious. They've always done that little jingle, so it's always been very recognizable.
Yep, which is
Ah,
that
Dear
sounded
God.
not good.
that sounded worse.
That sounded worse. Okay, hang on a sec.
But I will say to you, Jim, fun fact for you since we're talking about Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know leprechauns were not originally green?
Really?
They were red.
Interesting.
So you could argue a reverse Santa.
Huh. Fascinating.
It was. But okay, I can move on to my number 5 if you want.
Yeah, that's good. Overall, Lucky, just a fun cereal, fun mascot to follow around. Always adding new types of marshmallows that they always work a little storyline into. Oh, Lucky added this marshmallow because of this reason or that one for that reason, and it's always it's to do with he's trying to get away from the kids, so he has used some new marshmallow power to get away. So they always tied into the fun little story, and it's just always fun to watch. But yeah, Lucky from Lucky Charms. Go ahead, Mo.
I give to you Klondike Pete and his mule Ponder, or Ponder, however you pronounce it. Which,
Nice.
I like that breakfast cereal, it is cool. It's also worth noting that cereal that you can see right there did exist in the US at one point. It was just, but in the US, it was called, what was it now? It was called something like Crispy Nuggets in like the 70s.
Okay.
However, over here, it's called Golden Nuggets, as you can see on the box. And they do advertise it with crispy golden nuggets. But the reason I like these mascots is, the cereal is nice, but the reason I like the mascots is because it's weird. When you watch the mascots, they do sort of like a Looney Tunes Inspector Gadget deal of there's criminals trying to get his golden nuggets as he's basically a prospector, mining for golden nuggets, hence the name. And the criminals in question are always outwitted in like a Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote way by the mule, not by the prospector. The prospector remains blissfully ignorant of their existence.
I'm back.
So,
Is this
like,
any better?
That is better.
That is much better.
But which adds a sort of element like when Penny helped Inspector Gadget, which I like. I do like those two mascots. Those two together, they are cool.
All right. Klondike Pete and partner. Fair enough.
Yep.
Sounds like fun.
So I believe it's back to Jim.
Alrighty. So moving along to the next cereal on my list. There it is. Okay, or I should say the next mascot on my list. This is mascots, not cereals. If I can scroll down to here, where's the picture? Over here. We've got. There we are. We have Toucan Sam from the Fruit Loops.
Nice.
I do not
We
have
just
him on
started
my
getting
list.
We
On
just
your
started getting
nose.
over here.
On your nose, whatever it goes. Yes, Toucan Sam has been advertising Fruit Loops for as long as anyone can remember. He started off as more of an actual toucan and has kind of been anthropomorphized ever since. Slowly becoming a little more like a cartoon character you might see. In the same vein of, for example, a Donald Duck. As you can see, he was Donald Duck and he was given 3 nephews for no reason. And they've been following him around with him, teaching them how to overcome various random creatures in nature that they find that are, for some reason, guarding Fruit Loops. And they outsmart them to get the Fruit Loops and end up sharing them in the end because they're nice. For example, I think the most recent one is they found a giant underwater squid octopus thing that was guarding the Fruity Loops. And they managed to get him all tied up in his own arms, and then they all had Fruit Loops.
Nice.
Indeed.
Which, like I said, we have started to get Fruit Loops in the UK now,
Nice.
which is amazing because when I went to the US, someone gave me a bowl of Fruit Loops to try when I was at their house and stuff. I was like, okay, cool, and I ate a bowl. They were pretty nice.
Hmm.
And when I got back home, I was like, okay, I liked Fruit Loops. I kind of wanted a bowl. And then eventually, a few years later, they started to come out in the shops. I'm like, okay, cool.
There you go. Yep. Yeah, Fruit Loops are fun. They've been around since about 1962 or so. Originally, the Loops were all red, orange, and yellow, but they added green, purple, and blue later in the 90s. So, a lot of fun. And like I said, the Toucan Sam was originally just follow your nose, which he always does add in once in a while. But like I said, now it's more about he goes around with his 3 nephews, and they try to get the Fruit Loops and things, and he has to teach them how to properly get the Fruit Loops, but while still being nice to people, and even giving the people they take the Fruit Loops from some Fruit Loops, too, because Fruit Loops.
Nice.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Fruit Loops.
Indeed, Fruit Loops are awesome. I've actually had Fruit Loops.
Hmm.
Not a huge fan of Fruit Loops, but it was very popular. The character was very popular, so good choice.
Although there's an interesting note here in regards to the Fruit Loops. I was seeing a note here that apparently the recipe for the Fruit Loops used in the UK is different from the one used in the US Fruit Loops.
Ah, cool.
Alrighty then.
It originally has actually only had the secondary colors in it, the orange, green, and purple, because natural color substitutes for the red, yellow, and blue dyes that we use over here couldn't be found, and I guess you guys don't allow those.
Ah, that would explain it. Like I said, like the red dye, because for example, the Spider-Man ice cream bars, as you call them, they would definitely have used red coloring.
Right, that makes sense. But yeah, so they were they said they weren't able to, due to European legislation, they couldn't produce with the same specifications. And they also have slightly different sugar and salt levels, and the UK version has been produced with natural additives and flavorings, which just accounts for the differences in appearance and taste. Your Fruit Loops are also larger in size compared to ours due to the different method of being made. Now, fun facts about Fruit Loops. But, yeah. So, Fruit Loops, Toucan Sam. Follow your nose, whatever it goes, to the taste of Fruit Loops. Over to Marcus.
Alrighty then. So, for my number 4, Silly Rabbit Tricks Are for Kids.
Nice.
Yep, I had to go with the Tricks Rabbit because he is very, very popular and he's evolved with the times. And the commercials with the Tricks Rabbit, it's always been about the rabbit trying to get tricks and failing miserably, and human kids always outsmarting him. It's actually kind of funny, kind of awesome. And of course, the methods by which he attempts to get tricks and the methods by which the kids foil his plans have changed with the times. So as the character himself has evolved in terms of the look and stuff, so too do the methods. And I think that's really clever by Trix. Now, Trix is one of those cereals I haven't actually eaten, but I've seen.
It's a good cereal.
Fair enough. I've seen the commercials enough, and the characters just he is hugely popular to the point that I believe now they actually have Trix swag, like plushies and crap.
They have swag for any cereal you could think of. I remember back in the 90s specifically, the good people over at the, I think it was the General Mills people at the time, they actually released you could get, if you mailed it to box tops, you could collect the entire set of cereal mascot plushies.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun.
Fair enough. But yeah, the commercials are really, really well done. The Trix commercials are among some of the best commercials I think I've seen for cereals.
Mm-hmm.
Back over to the host.
Alrighty. Thank you, Marcus. Mole, how about your number 4 there?
Okay. I was double checking I wasn't muted. Yeah. Okay then. I go give you boom, Professor Weetos.
Nice. Ha! The butt ugly Martians.
But yeah, Professor Weetos. He's basically what if Doc Brown from Back to the Future decided, I don't want to make time travel, I just want to invent a tasty breakfast cereal.
Nice.
And that's him. He has these weird gadgets and sort of mad scientist labs and stuff, and as he's working on his secret recipes, he accidentally produces the Weetos. They tried to get rid of him at one point to try and update it to seem more modern, and did it with UFOs doing the serial, which people were instantly like, fuck off. Where's Professor Wheatos? And he's now come back as like claymation and stuff, and
Nice.
CGI and stuff, which I really do like Professor Wheatos. He's kind of fun. He's low down on my list though because he would have been number one if he'd reached his full potential. But it's like sometimes they don't really try with him in all the adverts, but when they do, he's fun. I like him.
Nice.
Back to Jim.
Alrighty. Moving on to number 3 on the list. Go to my picture here. There we go. No. Let's see. Who's number 3? I reread right. Yes, that's number 3. Okay. So, number 3 on my list, and I have a couple of images for this one. I'm going to go through here just a sec. I went with Buzzbee of the Honey Nut Cheerios. Buzzbee is in fact, thus far, the Honey Nut Cheerios being the only brand of Cheerios to have a permanent mascot, despite regular Cheerios never having a mascot, which is ironic. But Cheerios themselves are so successful that I guess even one of their branches can have a mascot, even if the main one doesn't have one. But you don't need it. They're fucking Cheerios. People are going to buy them anyway.
Yes, they will. Which I will say, I do like that bee. He kind of reminds me of, which it might be from. It might not be. I don't think it's by the same company. Cheerios aren't made by Kellogg's, are they?
No, General Mills.
Yeah, we had the one over here called Honey Nut Loops, and it was advertised with a bee that looked very similar. And he evolved into like a superhero bee and a regular bee. Then they relaunched him in recent years as a female bee, so there's a female cereal mascot, which that was kind of cool.
Yeah, fair enough. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, the Honey Nut Cheerios variation of Cheerios was introduced in 1979, and also, Honey Nut Cheerios also currently happens to be the best-selling cereal in the United States, by the way. I like Honey Nut Cheerios. And,
Really?
yeah, apparently it's the number 1 cereal here, according to Wikipedia, if you believe it.
I could believe it. It's just, I'd think it'd either be something overly chocolatey or something overly simplistic, like you cannot beat Kellogg's cornflakes.
Cornflakes are good, but the great thing about Honey Nut Cheerios is it's the kind of cereal that everybody can eat. That, like, Mom and Dad can go buy Honey Nut Cheerios, and Mom and Dad will enjoy them because they're healthy and they're a pretty simple cereal, and kids will enjoy them because of the sweet honey taste.
Fair
So
enough.
it's one of those cereals that everybody can eat, and parents can start to fight over it because everybody will eat the cereal. Because if you buy Lucky Charms, chances are parents probably are going to want to eat the Lucky Charms. But if you buy Raisin Bran, the kids aren't going to want to eat Raisin Bran. But you buy something like Honey Nut Cheerios, everybody can enjoy Honey Nut Cheerios.
I believe everyone can enjoy Kellogg's cornflakes too.
I agree too, but cornflakes tend to be a little bland for kids, I think. I'll eat cornflakes now, but as a kid, I wouldn't eat cornflakes.
I do agree.
Yeah. But
he does look like a cool little cartoon bee.
he is a cool little cartoon bee. I will note for the record my preferred flavoring of Cheerios is the apple cinnamon Cheerios for the record. But the Honey Nut Cheerios are also very good. Buzzbee.
I will have to ask, based on the fact he's the size of a regular bee, right?
He's usually depicted a little bit bigger than a normal bee, but he's still pretty small.
Yeah, which means, based on the fact he's clearly wearing a t-shirt and stuff, I have to ask Marcus, did you give him the number of your tailor?
Haha. Very nice, very nice. Yes, in fact, Buzzbee was designed initially by a student at Xander's Animation Parlor in New York City, and he actually didn't have a name until the year 2000 when they actually held a contest, and a 5th grade student from Coolidge, Texas, won the contest, naming him Buzzbee, because they needed to have a contest for that. They shortened the name to Buzz later, which was a submission that then took 2nd place in the contest. He was yeah, he's been there for a while, and he's evolved over the years. From being your little animated bee to having different things. He'll become a superhero bee. Most recently, the commercials have been taking place in the hive, where he uses his little honey wand that you see him holding there to stop an assortment of hilariously bee-themed bad guys that are trying to steal the honey. It's usually pretty funny. And they also, in addition to that ad campaign, they also had one more recent ad campaign just this past year that they've started launching, which is this, because they wanted to make him cool.
Why do I think
we're
that?
gonna get to that.
Why do I think that looks like the poster for Jerry Seinfeld's movie B
B
movie?
movie, yeah, it does look like a B movie poster. It's a very similar animation style, except that Buzz B is a little more anthropomorphic than your B movie B. But yeah, this is this new thing where Buzz B is now he's wearing this cool outfit, and must be the honey is the deal, and he's dancing with those lovely models you can see in the back, and they're doing a musical number.
And like I said, we're going to get to that.
Yeah, that's
Trust
Buzz
me.
B. That's Buzz B. But yeah, he's had a lot of fun things over the years, so that's my number 3, Buzz B. Over to Marcus.
All right. So my number was it 3 we're on?
We're on number
yes.
3.
They're great.
Nice.
Who doesn't know Tony the Tiger from Frosted Flakes? Yes, I've actually had Frosted Flakes. Yes, they're as sweet as they look. A little too sweet in my opinion.
Frosted Flakes are a good cereal. I'd rather eat them than Corn Flakes.
Which I will say, as you can see below, boom!
Oh,
Nice.
great.
I love Tony the Tiger. He's another one of those timeless characters that have evolved very nicely over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And they've kept the tagline, which I love.
I will say I like Tony the Tiger. I really do. Personally, I prefer cornflakes to Frosties. They're just
Fair enough.
Yes, I agree.
so good. You can't beat a good bowl of cornflakes. But yes, when it comes to Tony the Tiger, I feel in recent years the Kellogg's have sort of dropped the ball on him.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Because at least when I was growing up, it was like 80s. He was all this cartoony he was like this cartoony tiger that would give advice and have fun when everyone's having fun. Then 90s, he was all extreme and doing rollerblading and sports. And at one point, he was a Power Ranger. Yes, that's a thing, people. Then suddenly, 2000, when everyone's moved on to superheroes and stuff, he tries to be James Bond doing traps, and it just didn't feel the same. And no one's that interested. It's like now I don't even see a Frosty's advert on TV, which makes me sad. But he was very,
Go ahead.
he was
Sorry.
very good at adapting to whatever era, and then they sort of dropped the ball.
Him changing those costumes with the time stuff must have been more of the European version of him, because I don't recall him ever being like a Power Ranger or James. Well, actually, no. Now I think, but I think I do remember him in a suit at one point. But for the most part,
it wasn't a costume change.
well, no, like character change. You know,
Yeah,
changing
the
character.
The Power
But-
Ranger thing was from Power Rangers the movie.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they did Monsters in My Pocket?
Yes.
Frosties had an exclusive line of 7 Monsters in My Pocket that were Power Rangers, and you got all 6 of the movie Power Rangers and their 7th Ranger friend with Tiger Power, as he turned into Tony the Tiger, who didn't even have a costume change. He was a Power Ranger that literally had no costume, but was like, "It's morphin' time, Tony with Tiger Power," and he turns and he's just him.
But there's already 2 tigers on the team. What the fuck?
No, remember, by the end of the movie, he
No.
was Falcon. Doesn't count.
Yeah, by the end of the movie, he's Falcon and she's Wolf, I want to say, or Bear.
Yeah, but still, look at the outfits. They're still both tigers. Hey, come on. Saba is a tiger head.
He is, but I would
Saba.
he is. I would make the case of one is a saber-toothed tiger. The White Rangers is more based on the white tigers that you see in more populated in Asian territories, probably because it came from Japan. He's the typical tiger we see elsewhere. 3 different types.
True. That's still kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. Just for me, with Tony the Tiger, despite all that stuff, the one thing he's always kept is the whole thing of basically trying to get the kids to eat the cereal and to say that it's a healthy cereal, which to a degree it is, except for all that sugar. But you know, and the whole they're great, and I love the commercials. They're really good. They're really catchy, and they're good advertising.
They are. Yeah, the James Bond thing was from something recently where he's running along like an obstacle course,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like cornflakes shooting out at him, but they're evil. And he's like,
Ha!
no. And he like shoots them with like this fucking with no gun on his arm. He just like shot fucking lasers out of his hand like Iron Man, and was shooting, blasting them with sugar to tame them.
Okay then.
It was really weird.
That sounds awesome. Why did we get that commercial? What the hell?
It was weird because why the fuck would he shoot sugar out of his hand? He's a tiger. No.
I was about to say that. I haven't seen that commercial. Fair enough.
Yeah, that must be a unique one.
But he remembers the 90s when he kept constantly emerging from bushes to tell kids to play sports.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That I remember. It should be mentioned that Tony the Tiger has one of the most illustrious history of voice actors in breakfast cereal mascots as well. Originally voiced by Dallas McKennon when the character was first created. However, most well-known voice Tony the Tiger is, of course, the late great Thurl Ravenscroft, who voiced him for more than 50 years.
Yep. I do like his voice when he's like, they're good. And it's like, I love them, yeah. And I will admit my favourite of the Tony the Tiger adverts was from the 90s, which was when they did rollerblading, then they did baseball, and they did some other stuff. Then they randomly put them together in a montage with him talking to the kids while it played. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the cream of the crop. And I'm like, awesome! It's Eye of the Tiger and Tony the Tiger, yes!
Nice.
Interesting fun. You also find this interesting fun fact, Mole more than Marcus, because his knowledge of the area is a little bit better. But it's interestingly noted that in the U.S. and Canada, that Tony was actually later voiced by former professional wrestling play-by-play announcer Lee Marshall.
Nice. That is kind of fun.
Was a former announcer from WCW, AWA, amongst other promotions.
It's also worth noting that breakfast cereal has a slightly different name over here.
Yeah, Frosties, right?
Yeah, like I said, we call them Frosties. I believe you call them Frosted Flakes or something.
That is correct. Yes. Frosted Flakes in the U.S. and Canada.
Which, I'm sorry, Frosties just sounds so much hipper.
It does.
Frosties.
Yes.
They're great.
Although with a name like Frosties, it should have been Sub-Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Ha.
Yeah. Also, there was a fun fact is that throughout most of the 1950s, Kellogg's was a major sponsor of the Avengers of Superman, and so George Reeves appeared in a number of Frosted Flakes commercials.
Nice.
Also, Frosties is a sponsor of Challenger Sports British soccer camps. Shouldn't it be British football camps?
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Just saying.
No, the reason I say that is normally if it's an American company doing it, they do list it as soccer only because they do plan to do international versions elsewhere, maybe even in America. So it would be a unified branding in case the eventuality of getting one in their own country.
Fair enough, that makes sense.
Yes.
But yes, Frosty, so fair enough.
Yep.
So we got Double Tiger, so we got that out of the way. Marcus, you can change your picture back.
Indeed.
So now, over to Jim.
Over to me again, yes. Let's go on to the number 2 on my list. Where is he?
2. We are 2 away from the number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Just 2 away.
Just 2 away.
James Phoenix pulling up his list.
When yes,
James Phoenix reading his list. I'm doing play-by-play.
You don't need to do play-by-play. It's unnecessary. Anyway, we're going to go back to what Marcus mentioned a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's the ghost of Bugs Bunny.
Exactly. No, Tricks is for kids. But, the Tricks Rabbit, I put him in number 2 because he's just so well-known. Not only is he such a well-known mascot for Tricks, and as Marcus mentioned, the evolution of the character, trying different methods to steal the tricks. Everything from pretending from, trying to trick the kids look the other way to take them, to dressing up as an actual human only to be a cartoon in disguise like it's the damn Roger Rabbit movie.
I have to ask you a question.
Yep.
I believe when Marcus had his picture up, I may have been mistaken. Didn't he have a letter on his chest?
No. I don't think so. Marcus, did he have a letter on his chest in your picture?
Let me see. I don't
Like I said, I
think
may
so.
have been mistaken. I thought I saw a letter on him.
Well, he's holding a bowl of fruit in front of his chest, so you can't really see his chest in my image.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
I think at one point he did have a letter for some gimmick. He had a T on his chest at one point for tricks.
Not that I can recall, but maybe.
There we go. Okay.
All right then. Anyway,
Indeed.
but yes, the Tricks Rabbit. Like I said, he's been around forever. He does a great job of trying to steal the cereal, that silly Rabbit Tricks for Kids logo that always comes up. It's been everybody has
A price.
pretty much. But let us not forget that the Tricks Rabbit. People like him enough that they were sad, and then actually back in twice in both 1976 and 1980, there were two contests entitled "Let the Rabbit Eat Tricks," in which the results of the vote were overwhelmingly yes, and the rabbit was depicted in a subsequent commercial actually getting a bowl of tricks.
Nice. I have to ask a question. Who makes the Trick cereal?
That will be General Mills.
Okay, because looking at him, he looks sort of similar to the Nesquik bunny from
He does look like the Quick Bunny, yeah.
from Nestle, so I wasn't sure if maybe they just coloured him brown when they did Nesquik cereal over here, and also Nesquik milkshake.
The Nesquik Bunny is a little bit different. He's got a two brown coloration, and he has a little more obvious fur. But it's pretty close. And like I said, we don't really have cereals made by quote-unquote Nestle over here. I think it's just Nestle makes them for you over there as the company that has the right to make and distribute them in the UK, which is why I think there's some crossover in cereal branding.
To be fair, like Frosties
Yeah,
and stuff.
Nestle's.
The buzzing came back.
Yeah,
Sorry,
well,
we have Nestle cereals.
we do?
On the list I saw on Wikipedia, we did.
Okay, then.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ones that are normally cross-brand into the UK are either Nestle ones, which are over there, or Kellogg's ones, which are over there anyway, because Kellogg's is over here.
Right. Fair enough. I don't know that. Because I can't really think of any Nestle cereals off the top of my head.
Let me hang on a second. Nestle.
Oh, he's gonna look it up for you, Jim.
Apparently, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is Nestle.
No, that's General Mills.
Really, because it's listed under Nestle. Chef Wendell, the original mascot for Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
No, Cinnamon Toast Crunch has been a General Mills cereal for as long as I can remember. That's been a General Mills one.
And if you'll recall, back in maybe I think the early '90s-ish, maybe a little bit before, that Nestle came out with a chocolate cereal with the Nesquik bunny with Nesquik chocolate in it.
Yes, the Nesquik cereal I figured would probably fall under that, but I don't remember the.
We still have that.
Unless General Mills bought out Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which is possible.
I don't know, because Chef Wendell's listed under Nestle, so.
It's worth mentioning that General Mills and Nestle did have a merger.
Ah.
Did they?
Yes.
Fair enough.
It says here, Cereal Partners Worldwide SA is a joint venture between General Mills and Nestle established in 1991 to produce breakfast cereal. The company is headquartered in, who gives a shit, with 136 in more than 130 countries except for the US and Canada, where General Mills markets the cereals directly. So it's technically the same company.
Okay, fair enough.
There's that little mystery solved.
There you go. You said that was in '91?
Yes.
Interesting, because that's also the year that the Tricks were changed from being spherical pieces of cereal to actual fruit-shaped pieces of cereal for a good chunk of 20 years there, where the cereal's fruity pieces were actually shaped like the appropriate fruit that they were flavored after. However, recently in 2007, they actually went back to using the circular cereal format.
I'll assume it's probably because the circle one's cheaper.
Probably.
And everyone was cutting back due to, obviously, the economic crisis, budget crisis.
Yep, fair enough. But yeah, it's a tasty cereal. There is some decent fruit flavor to it. It's a fun cereal, and I give credit to the Tricks Rabbit for being one of the few mascots to actually branch out for breakfast cereal, because occasionally the Trix Rabbit says, "You know what? I'm not in the mood for any cereal. I'm gonna go steal me some Trix yogurt."
That's true. There is Trix yogurt.
Which also doesn't work. But
I would make the case if he's not the only one.
who else?
Most of the mascots in the UK for Kellogg's, like even Tony the Tiger, Snap, Crackle and Pop, all of them, they've all done breakfast bars, cereal, yogurt with bits of the cereal in them. There was even some of them have even had biscuits and drinks.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so suck it, rabbit. So
Silly rabbit branching out is for everyone.
Apparently.
But it's always cool when you get mascots that are not just a mascot for one thing, like they become so popular they can be for multiple. That's sometimes cool.
You know, speaking of mascots that became really popular, do you think that General Mills could successfully transition the concept of the Trix Rabbit mascot into live action and then hire Adam Rose's Bunny to portray him?
Well, that could be true.
I mean, the Bunny seems to be unemployed now. He's evidently not in the Rosebuds anymore, so.
Yeah.
Rosebuds aren't in the Rosebuds anymore.
That's true. Adam Rose fired the Rosebuds, but still.
No, he beat the shit out of them and then fired them.
Fair enough. But yes, Trix Rabbit. Silly Rabbit, the tricks of the kids.
Indeed.
Indeed.
So now I believe it's over to Marcus.
All right, my number two. Yeah, that's right. My number 2 is Busby.
Oh,
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Fair enough. Just by the way, it should be awfully just mentioned quickly that 2015 is actually the 60th anniversary of Trix. By the way.
Nice.
He doesn't look that old.
I know, but apparently there will be a commercial featuring a birthday party for the Trix Rabbit.
Nice. Wonder if he'll get some of his birthday cake.
Who knows?
But yeah, I chose Busby. He is, for my money, one of the most popular cereal mascots of all time. And yeah, you guys remember that image that Jim showed you of that crappy-ass hip-hop version of him? Yeah, the one thing I don't like about Busby, and you guys may remember this in the earlier 2000s, they did this campaign where they were trying to remake his image, and their bright idea, let's get Nelly to hip-hop-ize him. I'm like, what are you doing? But they changed the look, which, okay, the look is kind of okay. I'm not a huge fan of the whole hip-hop look, but it's okay. And then Nelly did something that I was like, no, that's just blasphemy right there. Fuck you, Nelly. Fuck you all the way to jail. Where he took Busby's Honey Wand, tossed it away and replaced it with a mic, and then fucking auto-tuned his voice. I'm like, no, go to hell. You don't do that to Busby. Fuck off. And then General Mills got smart and got rid of Nelly and hired Usher, and it all was right with the world. Because the Usher commercial's fucking awesome.
There you go.
To be fair, though, wouldn't the hip-hop thing, because of the hip-hop movement, wouldn't that be him just trying to move with the times in the same way like Tony the Tiger and some of the best mascots have? Which means it may have failed. It may not have been one you liked, but I can understand and appreciate the idea behind it from what you guys were saying, because most of the mascots on our list are on the list because of their ability to adapt.
Mm-hmm. True. That was just one I really like. I understood what they were doing, and I agreed with what they were trying to do. But I was like, you're gonna crunk him up, get rid of his powers, and auto-tune him? No, that's like pissing all over the character, in my opinion.
I could see that.
I don't know.
And I was also going to make the joke to Jim when he had the Trix Rabbit up a second ago. Was the Trix the first breakfast mascot to ever be denied something? Or when you mentioned Tony the Tiger was joined by Superman, did Superman deny him water?
Ha! Nice.
Thank you.
Also, I don't like the "must be the honey" tagline. I kind of liked his previous one of "be happy, be healthy." I thought that was a cool tagline.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always liked Honey Nut Cheerios. I much prefer regular Cheerios. But I do like Honey Nut Cheerios. I just can't eat it all the time because it's so sweet.
Yeah, of course you prefer regular Cheerios. You're old.
And I will say he's coming in at number 2 on Marcus's list, which makes him a B+ mascot.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
But yeah, I really do like Busby. I really don't like the new look though, with the leather jacket and the shades. I'm like, I like the
kinda
classic
cool.
look.
They both look kind of cool. One looks traditional, one does look way too modernized, like to the point that in like 5 years out of 10 years after it, it feels out of date.
Yeah.
But I like both. Like I said, I like that
Mhm.
Must Be the Honey one where he looks like the B movie B.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
Can't believe I actually am referring to B movie. That's right,
Yeah.
people. I've seen that.
I've seen it too. B movie's a good movie.
It is. I'm really looking forward to Marcus Shadow's review of that.
Oh, that'll be good.
Ah.
That'll be good.
But yes, back over to the.
And Chelsea mentioned that Buzz had another great commercial that they tend to break out every so often. For a little while ago, where occasionally they do a series of commercials where Buzz will basically somebody will just be mentioning about either heart health or just cereal or wanting something delicious in general, and Buzz will show up and encourage them to eat Honey Nut Cheerios to talk about how it's delicious and it's also good for your heart. And in one of the more recent commercials, he shows up to this woman's house and tells about all the good stuff about the cereal and everything, and she's like, "Oh, please tell me more. Stick around." And then Buzz actually looks around the room and realizes that she's a collector and she has bugs dead in frames all around the room, and he looks horrified and then tries to make excuses and tries to get away. It's like, oh god, that's dark.
I remember.
Ah! Fix your fucking headset, Marcus. Jesus Christ. You fail at headset usage. Anyway, over to Mole.
Okay. My number two is boom. I give to you Coco the monkey.
Nice.
He was gonna be on my He was gonna be my number one, but I kind of preferred the other one a bit more, so I've swapped them around. But
Nice.
Coco the monkey, he looks like he should be an Alvin and the Chipmunk style character, but instead he's like an Indiana Jones guy, always rescuing the cereals from the evil crocodiles that tried to steal his cereal. And there's like a running storyline going on those adverts. Have been running since I can remember, where sometimes they'll reference or put Easter eggs in there for adverts from like 10, 15 years ago. And it's like, that's kind of funny. Most people, and if you haven't seen the advert from 10, 15 years ago, you don't care about those things, but you accept them anyway, because it's not like it's something where you're like, wait, what? Why did that happen? So they didn't do it in a bad way. And I just think that's kind of cool to have this ongoing serial struggle between him and the crocodile. And at the end, he always sings, or mostly sings, his jingle of, "We'd rather have a bowl of Cocoa Pops."
Nice.
And over the years, he's been so popular, and the Cocoa Pops brand has been so popular, which in America it's called Chocolate Rice Krispies, I believe, or Cocoa Rice Krispies.
Yeah, it's called Cocoa Krispies. It's Snap, Crackle, and Pop advertising.
Yeah, but he's been so popular with the chocolate ones over here that they branched out, and he did Cocoa Boulders, or Cocoa Rocks, sorry, which were like bigger, thicker, rounder versions similar to the Nesquik cereal. He also did Cocoa Wheels, which were like wheel versions of the chocolate cereal, similar to Wheatos, but with a line or two going through them to look like wheels. He's had a load of fucking cereals.
I don't know.
All of which are just chocolate-themed cereals, and like, okay, I can accept that.
Fair enough. We actually, over here, like I said, it's Cocoa Krispies, but then when we talk about the Cocoa Boulders being brought over there as well, we've actually got similar to the General Mills cereal over here. This isn't on my list, but I just threw this picture in here just for the sake of having it here. Hang on one sec. Let me just open the folder again, and I can bring this in here. Sorry, people live. Didn't know I was going to need this.
I would make the case if you don't need it. Like that, it looked exactly like a cereal that I've already seen called Nesquik cereal.
Which is fair enough.
It's actually made by your General Mills-ish, because they're partnership with Nestle.
Okay, fair enough. That's not what I wanted. Wrong picture. Where's the picture I wanted? Here.
That's an old guy stirring cum.
That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this one here. We have this cereal. This is on my list. We have this cereal over here called Cocoa Puffs, which sounds kind of like your Cocoa Rocks over there.
Nice. That looks it basically looks like your your Fruit Loops bird if he joined Sonic Riders.
Pretty much. Yeah, that is Sunny, the Cocoa Puffs bird, whose recurring theme is whenever he gets around the Cocoa Puffs, he goes, "Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs," and he bounces around the room like he's Daffy Duck.
I've seen him.
me, Jim. Thanks.
So, that's the thing.
Hello?
But yeah, so hello.
Way to screw me. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry, you could have jumped in to talk about this when the chocolate cereal thing came up, and you chose not to.
It wasn't the same mascot, but yeah. I think he was waiting because that wasn't the same mascot, and also it wasn't his number 2.
Mm.
But it's fine. He only explained it quickly anyway.
Yeah, we're done with the number 2, but
Number 1.
Number 1. Since I already brought it up, would you like to go ahead, Marcus? We'll just change order for the last one here, and you can go ahead.
To be fair, I'd argue you should change the order for the last one because it should end on you, so you can end it, then close us out.
Which is fair enough. So, Marcus, why don't you go ahead?
Oh, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs! Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs! Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs! Yeah, I had to go with Sonny the Cuckoo Bird. Just
He is good.
come on. He's if anyone in America who's got TV and seen TV thinks of cereal mascots, it's Sonny is the number one. I'm sorry. You think mascot, you think commercial. The first thing that pops into my mind is, oh, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And that's just so ingrained into American culture right now.
It is. I'll be perfectly honest. I think when you say cereal mascots, the first thing that hits everybody's mind is usually Lucky.
I thought it'd be Tony the Tiger.
Him too. They're all kind of up. The pantheon of breakfast mascots are all really well known because they've all been around so long. Busby, Toucan Sam, Tony, Sonny. They've all been around for a long time. So
yeah, the one I found most ingrained in my memory when I was over there, because I was like, why is this a thing, was Count Chocula.
Yeah, the story behind Count Chocula. Originally, as a Halloween gimmick, they released a series of monster-themed cereals. They included Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and
stuff like that. I've heard that.
And basically, Count Chocula was really popular, so they kept that one going year-round and discontinued the other two, and they bring them back around Halloween every year for a month or two.
Yeah, it's like I'd heard the story and stuff, but I was just saying to Marcus that was the chocolate one I'd heard of in America. Ironically, I had when I was over there. Every time I've been over there, I hadn't seen the Cocoa Bird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what his name was again. I forgot.
His name was Sonny.
I mean, I really like Sonny because his look is.
Is he the one that teamed with Cher?
But his look, unlike pretty much most of the other mascots, his look is completely timeless. It's changed, but it hasn't changed to the point that you don't recognize him. And no matter what they do to update him, he's still Sonny. I mean, they even, as you put it earlier with another mascot, they they Donald Ducked him and gave him like 3 nephews or whatever, but he's still Sonny.
I don't remember. Yeah, he did for a very brief time. Then they took the nephews away.
Yeah.
Now they can introduce other relatives, like his uncle will be there and we'll give him the Cocoa Puffs, or there's ones where like he's in court for being too cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and then the judge is like, oh, look at these Cocoa Puffs aren't bad, they're just delicious. No, you can't do that. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's right. There's the one reason why I have Sonny higher than Buzz B is because while with Buzz B, General Mills updated his look with the times, they also tried to update the character itself, which I felt was a huge mistake. Whereas with Sonny, they never tried to update the character itself. They just updated the look to make him look contemporary, and they updated his surroundings and the people that he's around and stuff to make it more contemporary, but they kept the character the same, which I feel is the right way to go because as a cereal company, your mascot is the heart of your advertising campaign. If you fuck with your mascot, you fuck with your advertising campaign.
Yep.
And with Cocoa Puffs, they've never fucked with the advertising campaign because he's always been Sonny the Cuckoo Bird.
Yeah, I can't think of any of the most typically off the top of my head, but I know there's been so not just in cereals, but overall, there's been a lot of advertising campaigns over here where, when you have a loyal mascot like that you've had for a long time, they'll try to switch it up for something new, and there'll be fan backlash or it'll hurt the profits, and they have to bring back the mascot. It's happened before.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which goes to show you the power of advertisements and the power of these mascots, where people actually get attached to them. And they should totally make a film about that, because they already made a film about mascots and it was a piece of shit with really horrible CGI that almost burnt my brains watching it.
In all fairness, that
Fight or food court with Charlie Sheen, but I'm not going to go into that.
That film was fucking awful, and it was only awful because the majority of the brands realized it was going to be a piece of shit and said, "You're not putting our fucking mascot in that piece of shit movie." So they ended up with Mr. Clean for all of 5 seconds, and then like the Star-Kissed fish guy and like one other dude, and nobody else.
Yeah, which, like I said, it's fair enough. I knew that. I've seen the film, but it was a case of, that film was just horribly done. Even if it had the mascots, it was horribly written, horribly acted, looked like a piece of shit. It's like nothing could have saved that. It's not like, if they'd added Snap, Crackle, and Pop, I would have gone, everything about this is shit. Your acting, your soundtrack, your actors, everything shit. Oh, wait, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Here you go, give these the Oscar.
Yeah, no. Although I did think it was clever that the villain ended up being the old lady from the Prunes. That was kind of funny.
I didn't like any. No.
Fair enough.
But
Mole, how about your number one, Mole?
I wasn't sure if Marcus was done because I just interjected that about what he was saying.
Okay.
No, I'm done. I really like Sonny, and I think he embodies what it means to be a cereal mascot and everything right about with using a cereal mascot. So.
Fair enough. Before I do mine, I'm just gonna say people always say that the heart of invention is the greatest things are normally created out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
This mascot was created out of necessity. The greatest mascots are ones who can adapt to the times. He adapts to the times. I'm talking about the Honey Monster.
Nice.
Fun fact for people here. They had made a breakfast cereal years back. This is basically, do you remember when... I was about to say to Marcus, do you remember when World War II ended? He's not that old, I'm sorry. But when World War II
wants us to believe.
Yeah. When World War II ended and the rationing ended, people were allowed to go nuts with sugar. And people went nuts with sugar.
Right.
And they created the breakfast cereal, Sugar Puffs. But then eventually people realized sugar was bad. So they were like, oh crap, what can we do? We're going to have to get rid of it. We can't just repackage this because people are just going to be thinking, oh, it's still sugar, it's bad. So they came up with him. They called him the Honey Monster. And they say the word honey more than they do sugar, despite it being Sugar Puffs. And in recent years, it's even been called Honey Puffs as a result now. But it was a great transition, and he's done a lot of stuff. Like, do you remember when Tony the Tiger played sports with kids?
Yeah.
This guy actually played in goal for Manchester United and did the Scorpion save with the actual players and all shot in a real football pitch. He actually was up front for Newcastle and scored a goal with the real players and the real people talking to the cameras. He was even a referee for an FA Cup final. That's how awesome it is. And you cut to modern times, and a kid hides him in his bedroom, and he's like E.T., and he's like, shh, okay, now you stay put. I've got to go. You're going to be okay on your own. And what does he do? He bursts the fuck through the door. He destroys the kid's entire living room and the kitchen area, and eats a bowl. It's just to get a bowl of Sugar Puffs. And he has this deep, oh, I'm the Honey Monster voice. He looks like Cookie Monster, but he can be adapted to anything. Like there, he's like a Hulk-like monster. I mentioned Sports Star. Another one, he was in his pajamas doing the Tom Cruise dance with his breakfast cereal when he was like on his own. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
I must see that.
Yeah, he could be. I got a video for you. I'll show you that later. But yeah,
Nice.
He can be adapted to anything and any situation. Like right now, most people are trying to package stuff as nice and friendly and wholesome. And his advert is him basically with a load of kids dancing around and playing, and he goes up to the mother and he gives her honey, and they have this speech, and it cuts to her just smiling in the kitchen thinking about honey and the honey monster, and it's great. He ticks every box. Created from necessity, actually saved the product, has branched out like Jim's. Like Jim mentioned with the tricks one, they did like sugar puffs, breakfast bars, sugar puffs, or what do you call it, sugar puffs, yogurts and stuff like that. They also then gave him even more like honey waffles and stuff like this with like a waffle looking cereal, and it's just great. I love the Honey Monster.
Nice.
Thank you. And look at his little face. Come on. He looks like Cookie Monster and has a deep, booming voice. How is that not awesome?
He does. That's cute. Hype monster.
It's an art of Jim.
Indeed. So, finally on my list, and I will say this one, primarily, for my number one, it doesn't have as much to do with the mascot as it does to do with the fact that I love the cereal.
It's the Special K women.
No. Good try, though. That's Simon's. Anyway. But, no, more probably because I always remember the ads being always just kind of cool. But I know he's never necessarily been the most popular of the mascots. He was around for many, many years, and there was a slight evolution here. But I'm going to go with let's see which picture I go with first. But I'll go with this one first here. And that's the guy in the middle there, and that's Chef Wendell of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Because I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That is my favorite cereal of all time. It was my favorite cereal as a kid. It is my favorite cereal now. I love that cereal.
And you can make a comment that in that picture, he totally looks like modern-day Chevy Chase.
He does, doesn't he?
And why does he have... Is that the Three Stooges?
No, actually. Originally,
I thought that's what they were going for. Like they were referencing that with that, because that one's clearly dropping something. The other one's the skinny one. You know what I mean? I thought they might have been referencing the Three Stooges. My bad.
It's possible. Maybe they were. I don't know. I never knew anything about the referencing the Three Stooges, but yes, these three here were the three chefs that were originally worked together. Were the three respectable mascots of the group. The one in the middle is Chef Wendell. He's always been the primary of the chefs, and the other two chefs were credited as. Let's see, what are they? None of them were originally named. Wendell got his name later. The other two are often credited as Kello, who is the taller, skinnier guy, and Bob, who is the guy with the short, stout guy with the dark hair there on the left-hand side. And apparently, starting in 1986, these three became the mascots.
If I have to where the image is from, look at the skinny one. He clearly has the modern day streaks through his hair, like Seth Rollins.
I don't think that's supposed to be streaks. I think it's supposed to be there's a light on because you can see on the other guy's faces too. There's a light on the right hand side of them that's shining on them.
Okay, that's just bad coloring. Fair enough.
That's why even if you look at Chef Wendell's face, you'll see that the right side of his face is lighter than the left because the light's hitting him from his left side. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming this picture's from the 80s. I'm not really sure. I just haven't stumbled across this one. But originally it was the three chefs, and they were seen baking the Cinnamon Toast Crunch by hand and putting the cinnamon sugar on each piece, and that was kind of their gimmick. And it was a lot of fun.
So it's pretty clever, to be fair. Because some of the best mascots going aren't necessarily awesome. They're just something to sell a product, and that gives me the idea of like the whole, they were just like a sweet old guy hand making this with love. So people are like, it's homemade. And they fall for like over here with a product called Aunt Bessie's, and they make like Yorkshire pudding, roast potatoes, and stuff that are frozen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's quite a few of those over here. But yeah, they initially started with the three of them making the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But Wendell was the only one that had a name, and eventually the other two kind of fell by the wayside, resulting in only Wendell being left. And him being turned from this version, which just looks kind of like a kind of the old man, to a more cartoony and more oversized guy, which, as you mentioned, is an old guy scooping cum.
That's weird.
I know they kind of turned it from that into this, which is kind of creepy.
I assume that's supposed to be dough, which
That's the dough batter of the cinnamon toast crunch that he's making. Yes, but
it looks like he just swirling up some cum. Like, hey kids, do you remember my friends? Here you go. This is 50 Shades of Grey because of their hair coloring.
ah.
Have some cum.
But
Yeah,
I was.
what does Marcus think? Does Marcus think that looks like a big bowl of cum?
Yes. It should also be noted he hasn't been the mascot for that cereal for years.
For a few years, yes. In 2009, he was replaced, but I still like him as a mascot. We didn't say that to be current mascots, but
yeah, he was replaced by the cereal itself. If you can believe that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they might have updated it. Like, I almost had on my list the Cookie Crisp mascot, which I believe at one point there was a wizard. I believe there at one point you had a wizard, another time you had a dog, another time you had something else, and something else. Over here we've only had the wolf. From what I can remember, we've only had the wolf, which was one of yours, but it's weird. I don't like swapping mascots.
Yeah, I don't remember a wizard over here. For my entire childhood, I remember the Cookie Crisp was the mascots were the Cookie Bandit and his dog Chip, and they tried to steal the Cookie Crisp from places, and they usually got caught. As the time went on, eventually the bandit himself was dropped, and only Chip the dog was left. And within the last 10 years, Chip the dog became Chip the wolf, and he's been the mascot ever since. So, yeah. But he's the Cookie Crisp mascot. But yeah, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Unfortunately, they started off with originally there wasn't a slogan for the cereal, and each of the three bakers just said one of the words in the name of the cereal: Cinnamon Toast and Crunch. And eventually they took on the slogan that most people remember, and that being the taste you can see, which is used all through the 90s, starting in 95 and going up until January 07. And in 2009, they changed the slogan to match their new mascots, which were anthropomorphized versions of the cereal. The little squares, which kind of had little cartoon eyes on them and a cartoon mouth. And the running joke was that they were so delicious that they were committing cannibalism and eating each other.
Nice.
Because they were so delicious, leading to the current slogan, which is "Crave those crazy squares."
And there is the Cookie Crisp wizard for you, Jim.
Oh, okay. I don't remember there being a wizard, but fair enough.
I only know that there was a wizard due to the TV show Community,
in
which one of the characters dresses up like a wizard, and they make him do the Cookie Crisp thing. And they mentioned that the writer didn't realize that it wasn't a mascot anymore, and that most of the teenagers and stuff like that in the college didn't know who that was because one of the actors said to him, "I don't remember the Cookie Crisp wizard." He's like, "Oh God!" And he quickly changes the script just to have the extra line of, I was just playing along. I don't even remember Cookie Crisp having a mascot. We're having a wizard as a mascot." It's like, that's awesome.
Nice. But yeah, I was like Chef Wendell because it seemed like, the other mascots don't know, it's, the two gamer and everything else. It seemed like he was just a plain guy. He was just baking some damn cereal and said, "Here, I baked this. It's good cereal. You should eat it." And I'm like, "Yes, this is delicious cereal, and I will eat it."
It is. That does look awesome. I like cinnamon stuff like that. Like, we have a product in the UK similar with the little squares and cinnamon called Cinnamon Grahams.
Nice.
And I prefer Golden Grahams. They were so good.
Yes, we have Golden Grahams over here. We have Golden Grahams over here too. They are also delicious.
I was so disappointed when they took them off the shelf and only did the cinnamon ones. When the second they brought them back, I fucking stocked up on that shit. Nice. I was like, no, I lived through this. There might be enough of CRT.
Yeah, no, that was a good idea. Yeah, we've got the Golden Grahams and the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They're both made by General Mills, presumably in the same factory probably, and they're pretty much similar. Just one has a nice honey coating on it, and the other one is the cinnamon and toast. They're both delicious. I like both of those cereals. What I do not like is when they try to keep updating the damn Toast Crunch, because they released stuff that tastes like crap, like peanut butter toast crunch and French toast crunch. And it's like, okay, I get where you were going, but those both taste like shit. Nobody wants those cereals. Just make cinnamon toast crunch and let's be happy with it.
I have to ask, The regular one was cinnamon toast. That was the product, cinnamon
Yeah.
toast.
Yes.
Therefore, it's the product in question is called toast cereal, and the flavoring is cinnamon. So
Yes.
French one, is that why he was mixing the cum? Is it tasting like Frenchmen? I know French toast is a product, but that's not the same.
It doesn't make sense with the title of the original cereal. I know, it's weird. But yeah, I'll admit the French Toast Crunch was not that bad. It did legitimately taste something like French toast. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't as bad as a peanut butter toast crunch, which just tastes like really fake peanut butter.
Yeah, it's like we have breakfast cereals. I hate it when breakfast cereals that are good disappear. Like I showed you the Cocoa Pops, which is Cocoa Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
We had one in the UK when I was a kid. I can't remember what it was called now. It was like Banana Pops or something, and it was banana flavored Rice Krispies. They were so fucking delicious, but then they got rid of them. Like they also got rid of popcorn or whatever the hell they called, whatever the hell the cereal was, and it was like popcorn flavored cereal.
Oh,
It's like that's awesome. But now you have like Cookie Crisp branching out and doing Cookie Crisp, which with brownies cereal.
that
Which is weird.
doesn't sound good.
They're so good. But it's weird. I didn't say it wasn't good. I just said it was weird.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm like, okay, cookies with milk, I can understand. Who the fuck eats brownies with milk?
Well, in fairness, this is thick chocolatey, and the milk does help keep your palate cleansed. I know people eat brownies with milk. It's a thing. Just not as well known as cookies and milk. The cookies and milk have just kind of gone together in society's mind forever.
See, that's a weird thing, because over here, brownies is a cake, which means with cake, you just drink it with any fucking drink that you're having. Like, you could have that with Coke. Does that mean I can pour Coke on my cereal?
You could. That might be delicious, actually, depending on the cereal. But, I'm surprised you haven't done that already. But anyway, yeah, see, over here in terms of brownies, they can be made either way depending on how you make them, especially if you get that mix that you just add a few things to and it makes it. Because depending on how much of the ingredients you add and how long you bake it for, you can either get the cake-like brownies and it's just like a chocolate cake, or if you adjust the ingredients and you don't make it quite as long, it's actually more like a fudge.
Yep. Or you can make it the third way, which is with cannabis, aka a pop brownie, which I believe Marcus totally loved doing in college in the 70s, because I believe that 70s show was totally about his life.
Pretty much.
Nope.
It had to be.
And it was. They just had to turn the main kid into a white kid because nobody would follow the show if it was about an Asian. Nobody would believe it.
I don't think Marcus would like the innuendo that him and Richter just got high on pop brownies in college.
In all fairness, he should probably take it because if we're gonna follow this through, we're also going to get the innuendo that he banged Mila Kunis. So yeah.
To be fair, who hasn't? But yes, I believe.
But anyway, yeah. So that is. So thank you two for joining me. This was a lot of fun, as it is every month. This has been our top 5 breakfast cereal mascots. We have not yet chosen the theme for next month, but it will be announced via Twitter and Facebook once we do. So keep an eye on at the Xpound or like the Xpound on Facebook.
Because this cereal must continue.
Aha, nice. So yeah, we'll let you know what the theme is. We'll come up with something fun, and we'll see you next month, right here on the final countdown. I need a sound effect for that. And a logo. Get on that, Marcus.
You want a sound effect? Click the clock. That's what I kept using last time.
Okay.